Morning, welcome to the video. It's Monday the 27th of October, so it's fortnightly mowing, and I think in some cases, if assuming that it's going to be a 2-cut month next month, this is going to be our 4th cut left of the year. Now, we're down 1 cut because one of the clients is moving, as I explained in a video a couple of weeks ago. He's moving, he's going to somewhere in this area, so hopefully if the sale goes through soon enough, actually I might even get an extra cut in at his new property before the end of the year, so that's good. This weekend was spent really working on, I've got 3 sort of quotes that are open at the moment, and one of them was a big flailing job, and it's actually not in my area at all. So I was thinking, can I physically get there to do it? One, I probably don't have enough days. Secondly, now the clocks have changed, the light, you know, I'd be trying to load a tractor onto a trailer in the dark and everything else, and also having to deal with the M25, so it's not really something I want to do, but it's potentially a very good client of mine that I've had a lot of dealings with this year already. So you try and do anything for good clients, but I think it's just too far out my way. So I needed a little bit of local knowledge. What I want to do is go back to the client and go, look, I can't do it, it's just too far away for me, but here are the numbers of some people who might be able to help you. Only I didn't have any of those numbers. However, I did have a man on the ground, and that is Sam Dickinson. So gave him a call this morning, had a good chat. He actually was able to provide, I think, well, certainly 3, but he's got another guy as well, so 4 people who he reckons potentially could do it. And at this stage, I'm not looking to make any money out of this. I'm just going to say to my client, here's some numbers of some people who I believe can help you, and I've done my bit. I've said I can't do it, but I'm helping you out. I'm not just going, nah, I can't do it. And hopefully that will just keep me in favour for when the next job comes along and I can do it. Anyways, as I say, fortnightly mowing this week. Tomorrow, no work tomorrow. That's why we're doing Tuesday mowing on a Monday, and tomorrow's a nice family day off as it's half term. Right, usual sort of thing. If anything of interest comes up today, because you've seen all these jobs for the last 2 years, I'll make you aware of it. If not, see you tomorrow. Well, I won't, will I? See you Wednesday in that case. So it's still Monday. I've got some photos I will add here of a couple of lawns I've done. However, it is now 3:50. I've got 2 lawns left. One is close by, and actually it's very close to home, and the other is a good 15 minutes away. So if I go to that one, that's going to be 15 minutes there, half an hour to cut, trim, blow, etc. Half an hour, 15 minutes back, so that's an hour. So I'll get that one done, and then the sun will set, and then I'm not going to have time for the other one. Or I do the, or I do the other one, which I'll have plenty of time for. That's the question. Essentially, I've only got time for one. I'm going to go for the one close to home, and I'll tell you why I'm going to do that is because I have to go through the garage on that one. So if she hasn't got any availability for the rest of the week because she's out when I'm supposed to be there, and this is why I hate doing terraced houses, as I said in the last week's video, I only do this one because it's basically in my road. Whereas the other one, I can notify her that I couldn't come in because it got too dark, whatever, and I can do that one another day, and I will be passing, and whether she's in or out, it doesn't matter because I can gain access through the side gate. So that is how I'm going to, that is why I'm choosing the one I'm choosing. Right, now I need to go and get it done. So I took my my light home, my Bosch light home, to charge the battery for the container because it's so dark in here. I would show you how dark it is, but I daren't turn this off. So basically I thought, I haven't got a light, and I'm trying to look for a bag for one of the mowers, and I can't find it anywhere. But I was like, I haven't got a light, and my phone's not got, although I'm recording this, I haven't got enough battery to turn the torch on. So I must have a torch up here somewhere, must have. And then it dawned on me, the mower, for the first time in 4 years or whatever, the light is actually come into some form of use. So I was like, and then I have tried it recently to try and get it to work, and it hasn't worked. And I turned it on, it turned on, and it flashed off. And I was like, oh no. And then I managed to get it going. So I'm just like, oh, this is amazing. What a touch. So yes, the Eco battery mower has finally had a use for its lights. And of course, I can't get the lights to turn off now. So I will just have to disconnect the battery. Good evening. So it is Tuesday, and as you know, I didn't work today, but when you're self-employed, you're always working. So no, we had a great day out. Legoland Halloween special. As you remember last week on the Time Master, there's 3 belts, and one of them snapped. And essentially it's the belt which comes round here. So you've got, obviously the engine goes round, and then what happens is it's the belt which turns the blades. Obviously there's twin blades on here, so then you have the synchronized belt. So basically the belt runs from the engine and turns this, and then this one goes round and that turns this one as well. So both belts go together at the same time and also don't clash. So as soon as it snapped, and that was on Thursday, I instantly ordered new belts, and rather than ordering the one belt, I order the set of 3. So what you tend to find is, what I found is that belt in particular goes first, then you might have the synchronicity belt, I think it is, and then you have the belt which kind of powers the wheels and the drive and stuff. And as you can see from the last set, I still have that one. So this one really is not too much of a problem. It's that one I've seen go. Now, if you remember also, I'm pretty sure I've only used this. I've got 2 Time Masters. I've only used this one this year, and I don't think I've had any issues. Maybe that belt went, perhaps. I can't remember now. Maybe if you watch everyone, you might know. Quite often people comment on stuff, and I'm just like, really, did that happen? They're like, yeah, in this video, and I'm like, okay, fair enough. So yeah, these are the 2 belts I would say you need to keep in stock. And I think actually the last time I snapped one of these, I actually was over tightening it, so that was kind of my bad. Anyway, so that's that. So that's what I'm going to do. I've shown this in videos before, so I'm not going to show it again. Also on Friday, if you remember, I got back to the container, and I took this home to charge, less than 30 quid without the battery, and I just hang it up in the container. And I'll just show you now. Just turn the outside light on now, but you can see it's pretty bright for what it does, and pretty much that will just sit in the container and it will light everything I need it to light. And I'll probably change the battery or charge it once or twice a year. When you're working, I mean, if you can imagine being out in the dark or something and having a breakdown, just with this light you can fix that pretty quickly, and you can kind of see what you're doing. And less than 30 quid, I think that's a great buy. And as I say, I'm already on the platform, so I'd definitely get another one. So morning Wednesday, so mower's all up and fixed, so that's good. And actually I found the cable was really quite tight, so I've managed to loosen that off, so hopefully that will reduce the chances of that stretching or snapping or anything. Or well, eventually it will happen, but certainly prolong the life of it. I've kind of messed up a little bit this morning, so it's not quite 8 o'clock, but I'm at the first property, and it's just the small one I do, which is part of one of Thursday's big lawns, which kind of, it's like if you do one, you've kind of got to do this one as well. So I'm here, and I'm sort of ready to go. I'm just kind of waiting until I sort of try to start at about 8:30. Obviously I've got the battery strimmer, so I can start a little bit earlier perhaps. and I could use the battery blower, but the plan was to get through the traffic, so I'm here ready to go. So I've bought myself a little bit of time so I can do a bit of paperwork, reply to some emails and stuff. I've kind of messed up a little bit in the sense that I reckon I misjudged the light. I think I could have been on site at the big White House, which obviously I go when it rains. I could have been there for a 6:30 start. Now that is in the middle of nowhere. It obviously has neighbours, but doesn't have neighbours, within feet or even visible distance. So certainly with the battery stuff, I think I would have been. And also, it's on a golf course kind of complex, if you like. Um, a bit like you've got Wentworth and you've got the Wentworth estate. Same idea, but obviously not Wentworth. So the greenkeepers are up at 6:30, so you can hear the hum of a mower in the background. So I'm sure my noise would have just blended into their noise. But I thought it would be too dark, and then just wouldn't get time to fit them all in. But as I was driving here, I was just like, it's so light out, I could have done that. So what I've done is in my diary is I've just made a note that actually that kind of week after the clocks go back, certainly that first week, if there's an option to make an early start, then that's something that we should look to do, just to try and make the most of it, because obviously it's getting darker earlier. So I'm gonna probably just reply to a couple of emails and then get this one cut, and then get to the road where I've got the three. Monday afternoon my back started hurting really bad, really kind of seized up. It was pretty bad at Legoland yesterday, and then I used a physio roller, sports roller, and that sort of did certainly help, although it's not great again. So I think I'm just going to try not to lift too much. If I can try and make the ride-on mower do the work of sucking up the leaves, and with the billy goat blower, which I have today, I can just sort of push it and blow, rather than actually having the backpack on my back for so much of the day. So that's kind of the plan. I'll sort of probably show just a few sort of before and afters on this one. I think rain's coming in this afternoon, so we're just gonna have to play it by ear. There's not a lot I can do really, other than just soldier on at this stage. Right, okay, well I'm gonna send those emails and then crack on here. Okay, what's quite good is being able to drive in and see Friday's lawns looking really green and lush. Love that. Big change weather-wise from yesterday. Do you know, I think it was on Monday I was looking at the van. Normally by Christmas the van is like, even with the little spinny thing on top, the van becomes like a rainforest inside. So I was looking at it and going, oh, how dry it was and everything. Anyway, I think this is the start of the wet season, so kind of that mower's out. Funnily enough, I don't think I will be using it today after fixing it last night. This is the problem, isn't it? Is all those leaves you can see down, well, there goes one. They've all fallen down since I've come through here and cleaned this out. Love that tree. This is going to be a slower, harder one today, because I'm really clearing up the acorns. I think next time I come in 2 weeks' time, it'll be more leaves but less acorns. So the blower, certainly, you can see all these leaves here. These have all come down since I've been through. So that kind of big kind of early mound there, that's pretty much acorns with a bit of leaf on top. So this is a heavy one today, but I think after this one there'll be 3 more visits, 2 in November and 1 just before Christmas. I remember, I think it was last year actually, I probably did leaves in November and leaves on the Christmas one as well, the Christmas visit. So actually October was the last cut, just because I'm essentially just trying to do everything in the same kind of allotted time, because there isn't any more time. I've got to get onto others. Anyway, it looks as though this rain is setting for today, so hopefully the leaves won't get too soggy, but I'll have to sort of stop. But I can't see that happening. I don't think there's enough sort of little pockets here and there to kind of press on and make a big difference in the other 2 lawns I've got to go to, which are literally 2 houses up the road. Okay, so this is a second job. So basically it's get all those leaves out there, all these leaves out there, and then get them into that section behind there. So what I've done is I've gone round with the backpack, just blowing everything out where it's kind of hard to reach with the billy goat, and then the billy goat will be used to just blow everything straight into that kind of island here. And then obviously on that side it will go out to there, but I'll show you that later. One thing which is very common every year is this tree loses the majority of its leaves very, very quickly. So that has happened. So this area, I mean, it's like it gets cut fortnight, it's more weeds than moss than anything, but it's an elderly client. She just wants, that's the service that she's requiring, so that's fine. So what we've got is the little oak tree there. So the last leaves were full there. Obviously massive oak trees up there, they'll go on till Christmas now. But essentially this area here, at some point between now, probably in November, we'll get a decent cut on this area, get it all trimmed underneath the trees. But every visit I'll make from now on, it's really just going to be a sort of a dispersing of the leaves. Those ones there, half of them will fall on the roadside and might get blown up and down the road. But essentially this area is sort of coming together, which what it means is I can then spend the rest of my time sorting out around there. And let's have a look at this side of the lawn. Okay, so last week this was mega, so again majority of these are down. They'll all be down by next week. And actually this one over here there's quite a few of those down, whereas you look at the oak there, the oak's barely turned. So really what it's a case of now is 2 things. What I tend to do is there's like an alleyway up here, so I push all these leaves out into the alleyway and then work them up the side. All of this stuff, it will all go up, and then that sort of goes into there and behind there. So there's a few leaves about. Because what I had to do last week is a lot of these were down. I had only the backpack to blow it. So what you've got is this alleyway, if you like, here, which is really annoying because there's a massive hole in there and roots, and I just can't, well, because of the hedge, I can't get the ride-on mower through the hedges, because it's like a bit of a S, if you like. Because if I could, I would flatten this bit out and hack that bit back so I could get the ride-on mower in. That would make life so much easier. And this goes all the way down. So again, these leaves tend to stay drier, so my main concern at this point is getting all the leaves off the lawn and into here, and then once that's all kind of done, you know, when I have time I start moving everything back, kind of blowing it all into the rough, if you like, here into the wooded bit. This is the area I flailed a while ago. The idea is that you would blow all the leaves all the way back over there, but in reality there's so many, you just sort of lose them in pockets as and when you can. I tend to, I mean, I'm not hooking out all those leaves and just dragging them over there. That's really a pointless task. So what I'll do is, like these leaves all around here, God, there's still apples coming. All these leaves, I just sort of bring them round and just get them as far into that sort of wooded area over there as best I can. So that's the plan. Okay, so you can see clearly what I've done here. I've literally just gone round the edge, got all the leaves out, and then what we'll do is we'll take all this section, put the first half down into that channel, the second half into that channel. This stuff here will go through the gate or through the gap there. So we'll get all this, that will go through there and to the side, and then all this stuff, including all the apples, will just go into this hedge essentially, because it's actually open up in there and there's quite a bit of space. So we'll just kind of let it go into there and it can all die down, because of course we will be back here in 2 weeks time and some of that will have started coming down as well. So out the back again you can see the leaves are already falling, but Yeah, this one's all done. Lots of leaves all blown. So it seems to be oak trees here, so there wasn't a great deal down actually, because they're pines at that one, but the rest seem to be sort of oak trees. I mean, that one over there, you can see that one, hopefully you can see that, that's like completely green compared to the others. I don't know if that's because it's got the buildings either side that they're sort of protecting it a little bit. Don't know. This is the bit that I flailed down. This, I mean, the grasses are stuck in there, but it's meant to be that rough look. But that's not complete pile of leaves that I did, but I definitely contributed to that this today. Right, so you may notice it's daylight. It's about 3 o'clock. Essentially today, apart from the first job, which I cut with a time master, everything's been blowing with the flail. Sorry, blowing with the billy goat, bit of backpack here and there just to get stuff out. So I've actually boshed through these other 3 jobs really quick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to head back towards the first job, which is really annoying. I reckon it's about 20 minutes away, so I could probably get there for about 3:30ish. If I can get there for 3:30, then I'm going to at least have a good solid hour of daylight, which will be enough to sort of warrant a trip there, because at the minute Sunday afternoon is the only day I've got to do it. I don't want to work Sunday afternoon. Okay, so somehow I've got it done. So I got here for 3:30 and it's now 5 o'clock, and it's, as you can tell, it's getting pretty dark now. Morning, so Thursday, so tomorrow or next week I've got to use the tractor and the trailer, so I need to pick it up Friday to save myself a journey. So I've just had a quick kind of clear up in there just to create some space. What I tend to do is I'll be able to get the billy goat kind of in there, bring the trailer in, and then bring the tractor and park it in the trailer. That tends to be how it works. So I've created that gap now. Annoyingly, so I need this. I need the time master for the main mowing. I'll probably need the billy goat, probably just for ease. Definitely need the 56. And because I couldn't do one of those lawns on Tuesday, I've got to take a small mower, and this is about the only option now. I can get that and stand that up in there, but that involves taking this out, and it's all going to come out when I get to the first job anyway. So I've the advantage of something like this, which folds up and it's light, you can kind of just throw it in and it can sit there till we get there. So that's the idea there. So yeah, 4 jobs today. Should be all right for daylight, I think, especially judging from yesterday. And also there's blue sky. So yesterday, if you imagine, it was raining pretty much all day. It's very cloudy. Cloudy days tend to get darker sooner. So yeah, right, see you next job. Everything's looking pretty tidy here, just obviously a few leaves down. You can see now that the stripes I've been putting in have stayed in, so that's good. So now we're going to put the other diagonal in now. But generally it's looking pretty tidy, isn't it? Obviously more leaves are going to fall off the apple trees, but other than that, all very good. Okay, so there we go. There's the today's diagonal put in, with the idea being that you've got last week's diagonal there. Now you've got to remember, this hasn't got a roller on it. The stripes are, you know, they take a while to get in before they really stand out. Anyways, just to finish the blow off, got 2 jobs left. Okay, I've got the first one done. Yeah, I'll put some photos in now of the front. I think I took some photos. And this is the second one of the day. So I've striped the front up, and now we're just dealing with leaves at the back. Unfortunately, the wind is coming towards me, and I need to get the leaves down the other end. Although actually it seems to have changed now, because the rain's coming in from the side, so it might help. front lawn all striped up. Halloween is definitely here. As I say, the plan was to spray the weeds. As you can see by the trees, it's a bit windy and we've basically had showers on and off. So that has ended any hope of doing that. Never mind. Whether I'll have time to do it next week or not, I'm not sure. It may have to just do it on a completely separate day. But it's looking okay. What I do want to do is, before it gets too wet, is give the lawn a cut with the brush on the front to just kind of like smarten it up a little bit. I think there's where it's all come through, you've got new growth, established growth. I just like to sort of stand it all up and then give it a nice clean cut. And I think that would make it look really, really smart. I've noticed that on a couple of them, particularly when you look back on photos, they look quite good, but then they just look a bit fluffy and a bit rough. And often when they look a bit fluffy after you've cut them, you maybe want to take them down a notch. I don't want to do that because we're November tomorrow, in fact. So I don't really want to do that. So if I can stand the grass up, bring the grass up to the mower if you like, that'll be a nice way to get that cleaner cut. So that's the plan, but that will be weather depending. So we're at a property that, was it last week? Last week I scarified? I can't remember. Essentially this one here. So what we've done is I then fed the grass, and you can see the weeds. And the reason you can see the weeds is because they're all curling up and dying off nicely. And then where the bare patches were, we chuck seed in. So this seed is under excuse me, this seed is under 2 weeks old, and it's coming up really nicely. Okay, so I'm just out, just doing the verge on the driveway there, just blowing the leaves, and I'm opposite the house we did on Tuesday. So I don't know if you can see. Now I cleared all these leaves on Tuesday, and they're all back down again. So hopefully, actually, that red tree in 2 weeks' time probably will have the majority of them will be down. So it'll be a big old clear up in 2 weeks' time, but that might be the worst of it for that garden. All striped up, and in the back I'm going to do the same as I did on the other ones. Is I'm not going to cut the back. I am literally just going to deal with the leaves because the leaves are a lot worse in the back than they are in the front. So anyway, all striped up, all good. So it's done today. Done for the week. It's Friday, isn't it? I've shown you this already, but yeah, I think I've shown you this already, but yeah, all striped up. What you'll notice is we have the tractor on, so that, if the weather plays ball, will be for Tuesday, and that will be quite a nice mowing job. So just a little bit out the front with the hater, and then I'll sit on the tractor for the rest of the day. But no doubt the weather will bugger that up. Can I shut this door? Okay, so have a happy Halloween, and I shall see you next week.